When you give some direction, then you can do some correction as well. If you have zero direction, then there's nothing to correct or to help them with. And our goal as coaches is to help them, right? So like, where do we want to? Not so much enter with the puck. That's maybe a little bit of an older thing. But if we're doing entries, zone entries, we want to. If we can get inside the dots, obviously let's get inside the dots because it gives us options. But of course, that can contradict itself. If you're beating a guy wide, you can stay wide, right? But if you have a chance, if you're coming the neutral zone into the zone, if you can get it in the create from the middle of the ice, it creates options and it makes D have to think a little bit, right? So that's one thing. But now it's just a matter of what philosophy do you want. So there's different things. Do you have the puck? Do they have the puck? Do we have the puck? Or is it a 50-50 and that all matters?
Yeah.
Right.
So sorry, are you done?
Well, no, that would just determine what type of structure. If we have the puck, we can do whatever the hell we want.
So yeah, so let's start walking through some of this stuff. So I want to go through like a couple of tactics things like this, and then we'll talk about positioning like as individual players. Okay. So if we start like most basic, let's say it's just a forecheck. So we don't have the puck. Puck's in the corner. They're going to be the first one to get it. So we're doing a forecheck now in the offensive zone. There's a million different forechecks to do, but let's just go like super basic. Who's doing what, and how do you know where to go, what to think, and what's our goal like on the forecheck?
I'll just use this side because this is the side closest to me, and I got alligator arms. So if a D goes in to retrieve a puck, okay, that's the D. The first guy in, it's not the center, it's not the winger, it could be a D, it could be whoever it is. The first person in, your job is to put pressure on the player. Okay. Now we can put pressure on the outside going in, and some people can do that as long as you have help. But what this does is gives them a lot of room to make space. So what we try to do in general is make him choose the right option for us. So when we come in on a forecheck, is we want to where do we want to protect the middle of the ice no matter what. So if we can forecheck on an inside angle with our stick his stick back is to it. So we want to guide him so that he's climbing up the wall or forces the puck up here. Because if he does that, if we can keep him on the outside, then he's got to make plays in this area. That's not a lot of time to make play. Does that make sense?
Yeah. So it's similar to when we talk about neutral zone, how you're shrinking his ability to have options, make decisions.
Yes. So like if he's climbing up the ice, you don't go straight at him. You take a little bit of an angle, so you force him to come up the ice, and your stick is taking away the puck. Some levels you can't hit, but you can take the body anyways. Like, I mean, what's called hit and pin. So that would be that guy. You hit and pin him if you can. So what that allows him to do is stop his feet moving and hopefully cough up a puck. That's the first job. The second person would be coming in and kind of reading which way he's got this guy. But typically, if we're doing it right, then the second guy is going to be right on top of that to take a second puck, right? If everything is working properly. And then the third person you would have in, which would be, let's just say for the sake of this, it was the centerman came in and took him. The right winger came in to go steal a pucker to keep the puck live. And the left winger came in and he's playing the high guy. Why the high guy? Because now, until we have possession, he needs to be defensively aware, right? If he just goes in there, which some guys have three guys in, it doesn't matter, it could be outnumbering, but this is just a philosophy. So that if a puck gets loose from the other team, he could either seal it off or forecheck the other way. Or if you get possession, you're in kind of on top of the dots, to high circle, to get a pass where you can shoot or make a play, right? So the F3 guy is important that you don't go in a bad position. So a lot of guys, when you do in practices, you'll see the F3 guy kind of hang out in here. Or if we get a puck that squirts loose, he's in this area. So what would be the problem with that is that typically you're going to have defenders, and I'm going to put D as defenders. It could be a forward, whatever, but these are where the defenders hang out. So if you're hanging out there, it's really tough to get a pass. So you're better off being on the strong side in this area here to be able to get a pass. Maybe the puck comes up the wall, or it goes to the other side and you can do a hard forecheck,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah,
Does that make sense?
for sure. So
Okay.
let's back it up here. I want to go um, position by position again through this quick. So if we first of all talk about the F1, F2, F3 thing, because this is still confusing for people that don't know the notation. F1 is like forward one, first person in. F2 second in, F3 third in. So when we use that notation, that's all that means. So back to our F1 guy. If we do like a standard forecheck where we got first guy coming middle of the ice, second guy kind of go down the wall, third guy coming up into the middle. So talk a little bit about each of those one more time. F1 cutting the middle of the ice, F2 why would he go down the wall, and then F3 in that high pocket, and then where are D at? So I just wanted like clear notation on the board. So
Yeah.
F1, where's he at?
Okay.
What's his
Puck's
route?
on this side again.
Yeah.
So the puck's in this area. Someone's going to retrieve. F1 would be coming in, cutting off the ice. So just like in the neutral zone we talked about the other day, if we come at him like this, then he's got all that ice to work with. If we come at him like this, because we're taking away this lane the best we can, so we're trying to force him up the wall. So this would be your F1. F1's job is to take that guy.
Yep.
Right? To guide him, to hit him, to pin him, to eliminate him from Earth. Right? So he can't make another play.
Yeah.
And one of the things that you want to do is, like, if a guy makes a play, that's why if you get a chance to hit, if you're hitting or pinning, at least pinning means just keep him on the boards for a split second. It keeps him away from being a threat again.
Yeah. So sorry.
Go
So
ahead.
now, if you can't hit and pin this guy, so let's say F1's just going to do this push, but it's clear that that D is going to get it and start to move up the wall. Yeah. This would be where we get in. F1 is now in his back pocket, pushing him up. This is where we would have F2 in the role of going more down the wall now.
Yeah. So the D is maybe that D or forward, whatever it is coming up the wall or taking this space. So this guy's going to just stay on him. Your stick will be forcing that as much as you can to the outside. And the F2 will be coming down that wall, even maybe this way, maybe depending on what your coach wants, but you're taking away more space to the middle so that he's just basically running out of room, right? So that would be F2. So we got F1, forechecking, F2, wall pressure, F3, high. So that's F3, sorry. F3 would be a high guy to be like insulation, like extra forechecker, getting a loose puck here being an option for a pass. The D, simply you're taking that wall, the other D taking this wall.
Yep.
For the most part.
Right. So now, if we
not this wall, in the middle of the ice.
Right. So if we touch on F3 for a second, this is a question I was going to ask a little bit before is when you're in the offensive zone, how much defensive mindset do you think should be present, if at all times, like when you're in the offensive zone? Like, what is that? I mean, it kind of depends on coaching, but whatever.
So this D, we got an F1 going for the puck. He doesn't have the puck yet. He's just hunting it down. F2 still hunting. F3, they're all in the defensive zone. You're all in a defensive mindset right now. You're aggressive, but this is not your possession yet. Like it might, and even if he doesn't have the puck, it's still 50-50. No one has a possession. So the job is to force a play, like to steer a guy to where you want him to go. So you want to put this D in your crowd, like where you can outnumber them. So these guys are kind of thinking fast. This guy's maybe thinking a little slower. So if you don't have possession, if they 50-50 puck, meaning no one has possession yet, or the other team has possession of the puck, you're thinking defense more than you are offense. You think so because we want to make sure. And now some guys don't do as high of a F3, but it doesn't matter. F1, F2, even if you're F3 here, waiting for a loose puck, you have to be in a position. This is what you hear the term being on top of the puck, right? Because if the puck squirts out, if you have a player here, and the puck squirts out, you're now below the puck and you're back checking. So what you're doing, the mindset of an F3 guy is you're looking for and it should be your first thought, if the puck squirts loose, like say it comes here, then you can get real hard on that play. Or if they get possession, like clear possession, like coming out, then it's a couple steps and you're on top. You're acting as a D guy, right? And if you do have possession, now it's a whole different mindset. If your team has possession, now you're thinking offense, totally offense. You're looking for to be on a pass option. But no matter what, though, like some coaches don't like I had a team where I didn't want to have three guys deep because where there's that bad. So I always kept a higher guy. And these guys so if it went that side, he can go, and then this guy would have to be F3. But it's a safety valve for your offense.
Right. So let's do that exact play now. So let's say puck's in the corner,
Okay.
F1, F2, F3 is high.
F1, F2, F3.
Yep.
Yeah.
And let's say that puck just releases to the other corner. So that puck's here, swings to the other side. What's happened?
Either a play or a defensive.
Whatever happens.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. So now it's this guy is coming down hard because the puck's going this way. So this guy's going as hard as he can to take that guy. Your F1 would be supporting, and your F2 would just slip out to this area.
Yep.
Now he's F3.
Right.
Right. And then your D is just shifting.
Right.
Right.
Beautiful. So if that play now, if we just kind of draw the same positioning on the other side, so we have our F1, F2, F3 on the other side. Yep. So F1, F2 in the corner. Yep. F3 up top. DD. So now let's say that puck starts to come up the wall, but it's still not our possession. So let's talk about on for the defenseman. Let's talk about the idea of holding the line versus not. What the weak side defenseman is doing, and then what is the posture mindset of the forwards now as the puck starts to come up the wall to maybe get out of the zone, maybe not, we don't know. And then we'll go into possession after that. So last play here.
Yeah, so there's more than one thing that could happen, but let's just say the other team starts climbing up the wall. Well, that's why this guy is here. He can start pressing right away. Push, and then as we said in our defensive zone or in our D zone, when you back check, you don't come up the wall, you start coming up the middle like this or taking guys like that, right? So so now it's a function of this guy's pressing, and if this guy sees that there's like not a lot of risk of stepping in, then you got two guys eliminating one, right? So that's fine. But if you see like numbers, like the other team has two numbers coming at you, then it's probably not your best to pinch down. It's probably release a little bit and let the back checkers take over. And then as far as the defense or the weak side D is, it's you're hinging, like you need a last guy back. So when you see pressure coming out, this guy just comes back through the neutral zone and gives him a release valve. So if the puck beats this guy, this D's not stuck here. He's already creating a 2-on-1. You're looking for help from your back checkers. Does that make sense? Okay. Clear? I know it's clear to you.
I think, but it's clear. Like, I know for us going through it, this is like very 101 things, but it's super helpful. I'm even having like some people reach out for these episodes that,
I know. I've seen
that are actually like their coaches or higher level players, higher level coaches saying like, it's nice to remember that there are basics to this.
It's funny.
Yeah.
So that's true. And I'm as you know, like for anybody watching, sometimes I'm reluctant to do these because it is the basics, but the basics are the basics. The foundations are the foundations. You can build off that. But very funny because Paulie called me. He saw the one on the D zone. He goes, "Hey, can I call you?" So Paulie coaches in Europe. He won a Stanley Cup with the Montreal Canadiens. He played pro for whatever, Paul DiPietro. So he called. He goes, "Yeah, I want to go over the D zone with you," because he coaches, right? So, and that wasn't the rocket science one. And he goes, anyways, we had a couple older people who think that they know hockey say, yeah, but it's like, no, that's hockey. You can change it. Like it was a basic D zone structure, right? But Paulie was like, yeah, he goes, and he was asking me questions about what I thought about, when they switch and all those different things. And I said, it was for youth. He goes, yeah, I know. So, but also a lot of junior teams use that philosophy. Anyways, he was just saying like, no, but I like going over that shit with you because it's, I like thinking about it. Yeah. He goes, because I'm more the offensive coach. So anyways, I'm reluctant sometimes to do it because I don't think with most of the players that I deal with or did deal with were typically older. And I forget sometimes that the coaches, like there's some coaching cues in there like even if you know, like even if you're coached at a little bit of a level and you're actually not a bad coach, sometimes it's a coaching cue that could be what my job is to take away space, and you have numbers, and that could be a cue that they go, oh, okay, that, yeah, 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 good reminder by that, by the way.